Well, hello, and welcome back to the most unusual Tao reading on the internet, maybe anywhere else. It's the Tao Manifesting Tarot. Yes, we're doing Tao to help you to manifest because in the 20 years that I have done tarot, I have come to the conclusion, at least from my point of view, certainly, tarot doesn't predict anything, but it's not intended to predict anything. In fact, generally speaking, you should stay away from predicting anything because prediction takes away choice in many regards. It's not an absolute, and we'll talk more about it as we get on. But the deal here is to help you to manifest, to create the pictures inside your own mind. Don't depend on AI, smartphones, desktops, laptops, any technology. If the creating that you do comes from outside of you, it makes you dumber, less creative. There have been a number of studies that have proven that. In fact, one of the latest studies, I think this was about a month or so ago, showed that we, at least in the United States, have lost anywhere from 6 to 9 points off of our IQ. That's horrendous. But people are so programmed to go to their technical stuff. I don't want to have to think. I don't want to let the phone do it for me. Let the AI do it for me. I don't want to have to think. Well, that kills your manifesting ability. It's something that you've been given at birth, except that we've had it kind of twisted on us. We tend to do our manifesting in a negative mode. I'm not worthwhile. I'm not going to get this. I'm not going to get that. And you end up getting nothing. And you go, see, I can't manifest. Yes, you are. You're manifesting negatively. So we're going to try to get you to grab that and focus a little more tightly. So the unicorn stuff, the rainbow stuff, I don't do any of that. We live in historic times, critically historic times. And if you're paying attention at all, and most people are not, you can see what's going on behind the scenes. Between, I would say, 2027, 2030, you are going to see a drastic change. We could see humanity begin to disappear in mass. In fact, American Indian groups, especially the Hopi, talk about the great culling. And just the other day, I was reading someone saying that, and they're connected with the World Economic Forum, that we have to have between now and I think 2030, we should have at least a third of Americans die. It's all part of this eugenics thing. They don't want us around. Bill Gates has said it's been on the Georgia Guidestones, the World Economic Forum, and others have said by 2050, 95% of the people on the planet now have to be dead. Our population has to be 500 million or less. And they'll do it any way that they can. So there's this element of reality that comes into these tarot readings and in terms of your manifesting, but it is your kryptonite. I am trying to improve your kryptonite to get you to stand up for yourself and then humanity. Today's message is waiting at the starting gate, poised, ready for action, ready to begin the race. That's the attitude. That's the spiritual position you really need to take right now to be able to survive what's ahead. They have a head start on us, believe me. Wouldn't take much to lock us down. So we have you, in terms of the tarot, the frequency today, waiting at the starting gate. You're ready to run the race. Before we run our race, I want to remind you I have one email now that I've put together strictly to take any messages, comments, whatever, suggestions from you. That's tau-tarot at proton.me, tau-tarot at proton.me. Contact me, good, bad, indifferent, doesn't make any difference. I've simplified things so that I can keep up with it. One email, and we can communicate. Tau-tarot at proton.me. All righty. Back to the Tao Manifesting Tarot, waiting at the starting gate, ready to take on whatever's going to be thrown at us. And believe me, It will be thrown at us. So we have to be poised. And that's what I work on with every single tarot reading. Is it easy? No. Is it sometimes depressing? Not sometimes, every day. That's why at some point, and I don't know what it's going to take, we have to get off our collective asses and say, enough. But we're not doing that because we don't care. As long as it doesn't affect me right now, if I can just get by, that's good enough. That's not going to work. So that's why we have to get you to use your God given ability to manifest, to create from your spirit. Again, not off the technology. The technology dumbs us down. Work away from the technology. I mean, you got to use it in every day, right? So be familiar with it, but don't make it your life. If you make it your life, let's move on. I don't even want to think about it. I use tarot, the power of potential. Like I said, I've done tarot for over 20 years. I've come to understand that it doesn't predict anything, at least from my point of view, but it does talk about the power of potential, of frequency and energy. When you're doing this reading with me, there's a door, a frequency door there. What are you going to do with it? Along with the tarot, I use astrology numerology because they're the power of cycles. What that does is gives us an element of prediction, not prediction exactly, but at least you get the sense, you get the feel for what you're going through looking at the past. And I know we don't spend much time looking at the past because that's the past. Who the hell gives a damn? Well, what you do is if you don't pay attention to the past, you keep doing the same shit over and over and over and wondering, why didn't it get better? For example, just as a general rule, modern humanity probably goes back about 7,000 years, up to the younger Dryas. I'm not going to get more involved in that concept, but about 8,000 years ago. In that time, we haven't improved at all. Oh, yeah, our tools have gotten better. We've done the material things, but emotionally, spiritually, no difference, no improvement whatsoever because it takes work. And of course, we don't pay attention to the past. Whatever those dumbasses did, they're stuck with it. We are going to be different. Yeah. Yeah, that's not likely to happen. So I take tarot, the power of potential. I use astrology, the power of cycles. I've done astrology and numerology for over 50 years. In that time, I find you really can't get a good, clear reading. If you're zoomed in on one particular item, if you're focused on one particular thing, it can be very helpful. But it really doesn't give you anything to use. One of the most difficult things as an astrological reader was it makes sense for the people who are coming for the reading. And there's just too many cycles within cycles within cycles within cycles that you just, it's chop suey. You can't make sense out of it. So people leave the reading going, I think I got something out of it. Same thing, by the way, with tarot. I think I got something out of it. So I want to be focused, tight, focused. We need that now more than ever. Give you an example. And I do this every day because it's easily accessible. American Revolution, July 4, 1776, we sign our Declaration of Independence. Pluto is one place in the universe. Uranus is in another place in the universe. They have a relationship. 250 years later, because it takes Pluto 250 years to go around the solar system, Uranus, I think, has hit it at least 3 times, maybe 4. They meet again. They did this about 2 years ago. Exactly the same place when we signed the Declaration of Independence. Now, these are faraway planets, so they don't just come and go one day. It's like a lunar. No, it's nothing like that. It lasts for months, years. And so you see, you have Pluto, Uranus, 1776, freedom, independence, revolution. Got the same thing going on right now. Pluto, evolution. What are we evolving into? What would we like to evolve into? Uranus, revolution. It's all over the place. Yeah, hell, even Canada, the 4 Western provinces are thinking of joining the United States. Why they would do that, I don't know, because frankly, the United States has turned into a shithole. It is patently obvious right now that it doesn't make any difference. George Carlin was right. Doesn't make any difference who they put in the White House. They don't care about us. They don't give a second thought about us. It's their corporate friends. It's their corporate puppet masters. That's who they're there to serve. Carlin was right. So here we go to 1776, where we think we break away from England, but frankly, the Rothschilds already control the Bank of England. In fact, they were the ones that started it. The Bank of England is already messing with the colony's economy. Messed again in the War of 1812, messed again in the Civil War, World War I, World War II. It's still messing with it today because it's what the bankers want. That's why Jesus had one battle in the New Testament. It was with the bankers in the temple, the money changers. He was telling us, don't trust the bastards. They will do anything to break you down. Now, is taking that energy from the revolution in 1776 to now, by the way, next summer we're going to hit our 250th anniversary as the United States, if we're still around. You can see where there's a similarity of energies, but it's not a prediction. However, it is in a general sense, and that's the point of this. So let's get to the astrology. Yesterday, we took a look at President Lincoln. Most people who have even a vague understanding or comprehension of American history knows that he was assassinated. Well, he wasn't the only one. The bankers went after Andrew Jackson. They missed. They went after Abraham Lincoln for the exact same reason: money. The man who headed up the Rothschild family in the early 1800s, Meyer Rothschild, said, "You can do what you want with the government, just give me control of the economy." That's fascism. Fascism. That's exactly what it is. When the money controls the government, business controls the banks. He said it out loud. And he set up the War of 1812 between the British, the Second War, just to punish American colonists, weaken our economy, show them that they're, as Meyer Rothschild said, they were being impudent. Well, there were more issues. Andrew Jackson comes along, 1830s and 40s, messes with the bankers again. They try to kill him. They don't succeed, but they do get a hold of Lincoln. And it was all to do with the Jewish European bankers' control of America. And he fought back, and they ended up getting him. So from 1865 to 1870, we're taking a look now at the energy. It was Reconstruction. It was trying to put things back together, Humpty Dumpty, that kind of stuff. And you never put it together exactly the same. It's like parts of a car engine. There seems to be always more parts left over when you're done putting the engine together than there were to begin with. Where the hell do these parts come from? I don't know. The engine works. That's kind of the way we were in 1865, 1870. Yes, there was the official end to slavery. It was on its way out anyway. Technology, the cotton gin, among other things, was moving that out of the way. There was political reorientation. A lot of new branches of thought came out of the Civil War, including, by the way, the Ku Klux Klan. And the country's economics, after a devastating war like that, needed time to reorganize, had to rebuild. Well, the bankers thought, man, this is a great opportunity, great chance for us to take over. Not so quick. They do in 1913 with the Federal Reserve, but there's this period of time here where they're trying to jockey for position. And that's really what went on between 1865 and 1870. We haven't hit that part yet, I don't think, in the United States, but it could happen at any time where we just have to build from the ground up. And I think that would be actually an excellent idea. Burn it all down and the hell with it. Let's start over because it's a mess now. But from an astrological point of view, Neptune was in a position in the sky where it is now. It takes about 160, 165 years, something like that. So that's why I say we're dealing with black and white issues. We're dealing with political orientation. We're finding out our political parties don't give a damn about us. And in fact, they're out to hurt us, eliminate us. Economics? What economics? There's nothing. Federal Reserve has sucked everything out of our economy. So in essence, we're in kind of a reconstruction right now. Same energy, different applications, but the same energy. And it began with Neptune, where it started right after the Civil War. And it's only now getting to that place of replicating. Let's take a look at the meme of the day. Boy, do I love this expression. A wise man once said, "Be careful who you let on your ship, because some people will sink the whole ship just because they can't be the captain." That's what we're facing right now as a country. People who have stated publicly they want to destroy America. They want to destroy a democracy. They want to destroy humanity at any cost. Doesn't make any difference. And they're doing a pretty good job. We're letting them. We can stop them. Missing link for today. All that has to be done is enough of us need to say no. And it's not say no, it's mean back up the action. And I don't mean protests. I don't mean closing down businesses. I mean taking it to the streets. Do you think somebody like a Bill Gates or George Soros or the people at the World Economic Forum are going to go, "Oh, you guys are unhappy. Okay, I'll walk away. It's okay. I don't need to be in power anymore." Ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen. We'll talk more about that at all costs idea as we move farther along through the history of America via astrology and tarot. But we're confronting an energy right now that says you're going to have to rebuild. Do you have the stuff to do it? Let's check the tarot, Hierophant, group identification. That's kind of missing. There used to be kind of a homogeneity around the world. You're European, you act a certain way. You're American, act a certain way. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We don't have that anymore. We're all busted up into little groups, parts, and pieces. They want it that way. There is no such thing as group identification anymore, which makes us weak and vulnerable, easy to defeat. The next card, the Emperor. Where are we going to get our regulation? Where are we going to get our authority? The Constitution of the United States says the people, not the government, the people are the authority. We're not acting like it. If this is a government by and for the people, where the hell are the people? Why do we have such assholes for year after year after year after year voted into office and doing nothing, not serving us at all? And it should be painfully obvious for the MAGA people that nothing has changed in Washington. It's the same old, if not worse. So we need to find some sort of group identification to unite us. We need to take our authority as citizens. And finally, we need to develop the strength to do that. Patience, compassion for ourselves. We have to decide we're going to step in, just like they did in 1776. We didn't have the whole country standing behind our revolution. We had maybe 30% that helped lead to the United States of America. The rest of them sat on their ass or wanted to stay with Britain. Same thing today. You're not going to get everybody to join you. Do you have the strength to be able to handle it? Yeah, that's a very, very, very difficult poem. That's why you're waiting at the starting gate. That's why you have to be poised. We're out of time right now. Thank you very much. I appreciate it more than words can say. Please like and subscribe. There's a battle on the internet. You don't see it, but if you're a podcaster, man, you are feeling it. Between now and the next time you and I get together, hopefully tomorrow, peace and blessings.